I'm streaming as so yesterday we had talked about hope you guys can hear me clearly.
Yes.
Okay. So yesterday we had talked about buyer personas and target audience, and I will still share the link. I'll share it with this today's one for those who will not be here. So today we're just going to talk on social media strategies and how to create the right content, right? So sorry, there's supposed to be something outside that. So for today, we're going to talk about the personal insight to map insight to channels and content pillars. So all that work that you did yesterday, or all what we talked about yesterday about personas and buyer and target audiences, basically we're going to connect them to channels. We're going to see how it plays out in the bigger picture, and we're going to use it to build our strategy, right? So this is why when I have consultation with business owners, I always tell them that like doing your branding before strategy is like you just want to burn money. So the buyer persona will inform your strategy, right? We'll see how that works today. So we're also going to take a deep dive into platforms like how to market on IG, TikTok, and all of that, right? And this is going to be your new assignment, drafting a 2 weeks calendar. So basically, what exactly is strategy in one picture? Strategy is basically combining your business goal to um, combining, for lack of a better word, your business connecting. That's the word I was looking for. Connecting your business goal to your audience or your persona, and connecting that one to your messaging angle, which is kind of your content, and putting them under content pillars straight into different types of content. Then you distribute the content. Your CTA means that you're asking them to take certain actions, and it all ties to your KPI. I'm going to explain all of this as we go because I know it sounds like it's a lot. So, what is awareness? I'm sorry. So, what are goals that you set for your business? Right? There are three major goals when you are marketing on social media, or let's say this is five, right? But there are three, let's say five, let me use five. I was going to use the three major one, but let's stay with five since I put five here. So the five goals, the number three goals were awareness, engagement, and conversion. Yeah, but I expanded it. So your awareness goal means that you want to be seen outside, right? Which is usually the first goal of any business. Like when you have a business, your first goal, your most important goal should be that you want to be known, you want to be seen. So it is called awareness, right? And you measure your awareness on Instagram by your reach. Measure it by your impressions. Measure it by your views, by your profile visit, because this means that if you're reaching people, it means that they are discovering you. So if you check your analytics, you would see your reach. The platform will show you rather what your reach is. It will show you your impression. So as long as these metrics are increasing on a weekly basis, you are creating awareness. That's how you know whether or not you're creating awareness, if they are going up. For engagement simply means that you want comments, you want your page to be active, you want to know that people are there, right? And you measure this by people commenting on your post, getting people to comment on your post, getting people to share your post, getting people to watch your content, if it's video, or read your blog or whatever it is you've written, saving your content, DMing you. It means that they are really resonating with your cause. So it's a goal for other people, because for social media, when you're running ads on social media, it the engagement tells the algorithm who to target, right? Because it will target people that have been active on your page before, as okay, these are your potential customers, so you won't spend so much money on ads. Where you spend so much money on ads is because the algorithm, the platform, doesn't have any idea of who your ideal customers are. But if you've created content for your customers and they are sharing, commenting, the algorithm understands, and it would share your content to the same set, similar types of people, right? So you also have another good lead generation, right? This is usually common for big companies like SaaS software companies, logistics, or people who need to generate leads, right? Leads are kind of like potential buyers, right? And then you use sales to try to get them to convert into actual sales, into actual money. So you can have 100 leads or 1,000 leads, right? But the people that might now eventually buy from you will just be like maybe 10% of them or 20%, which is still profit. I mean, right? You still sold. You spent more to get leads, and then you are still selling. is a profit. So you also have sales, which is also known as conversions. So the thing with conversion is that it's different for most company. For a logistics company, the conversion will be that okay, somebody books a delivery, right? For you who is selling food, who food is your niche, it means that okay, I'm sorry, my this thing is not okay showing on the screen. All right, I thought it was not showing on the screen. So conversion is different for different people. For you who is into the food business, your conversion might be that somebody places an order, right? For other people, it could be that somebody downloaded their app, right? So conversion is basically anything that maybe brings you money, but different businesses um different businesses know what conversion is when they come up with what is conversion for them. So how do you calculate this? You calculate this by, like I said, conversions. And conversions for you might be somebody downloading your app or whatever, booking a meeting, whatever, right? CAC means cost acquisition, right? Calculating your CAC, your return on ad spend, that's your ROAS. Am I sure about this CAC? I think it's customer acquisition, right? That's what's in my head. I hope I'm right. So for retention simply means another goal. It means that you want people to come back and buy, right? So it's also, so all the five goals, right? It's always advisable to start with awareness. Nobody will buy from you if they don't know you. Nobody will buy from you if they don't know you. So you can start with awareness first. I usually encourage and I usually teach that if you're a new business, right? Don't just jump into running ads. Yes, ads will bring you money, but at least create. Okay, Yetunde, welcome. Please, mute, we can hear you. All right, thank you. So don't worry, you haven't missed much. We just started. So as I was saying, when you are starting out on social media, the first goal that you want to have is awareness. If nobody knows you, they're not going to buy. So always strive for awareness so that when you run ad, at least the platform, some people are aware of you and the platform can know who and who to target, right? So that's basically it. For the sake of you today, well, she can watch the video. I don't want to go back. I don't want this live stream to be long. So now these are what are called content pillars, right? And content pillars literally mean the type of content you should be posting, regardless of whether you're a business, a small business owner, or you're an online vendor, or you are a big business, regardless. But these are content pillars because they are kind of like what will make people buy from you, and you understand as we go, right? So in the general word, I just use this word so that you guys can relate. But when I say a content pillar is teaching, it means educational content, right? It means you are teaching. So you have to be posting content like that, right? I don't know if I didn't put different types of, okay, hold on. Sorry, give me a moment. Sorry. So when I say teach, right, I'm talking about educational content. It's very important for you to put out educational content because it helps you with awareness, right? People like one of the reasons why people go on social media for two reasons, right? They go to be educated or to be entertained, right?
I,
So if you're not,
I didn't hear you. I don't know how you got to this page.
what did you say?
You were disconnected initially.
Oh, okay. So where did you stop?
I stopped while you were talking about you want to market. You're selling food stuff. You're selling food.
Okay,
You're trying to connect the audience.
I've explained all this awareness, engagement, and everything. I've explained it to you, right? You got that part.
Mm, mm.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so I'm just on the next slide, right? So I'll just start from here since I've explained that. So I was saying that these are content pillars, and content pillars are basically the types of content that you should post. And these pillars are important because they are linked to certain goals. If awareness is your goal, right, you have to teach, right? Educational content is teach, right? So I'm going to explain these content pillars one by one so you understand. So the first one is the teaching content pillar. It means creating educational content. And an example would be, let's say for a healthcare brand, right? Some of the kind of educative content you'll be putting out there is content like 3 steps acne routine, recommended by dermatology, something that is educating them rather, how to videos, how to treat acne, how to treat pimples, right? If you're in the food business, you could educate things like how to what's the word now? How to identify fake from original or something like that. Just basically educate them, right? Because you have done your research and you know that this is something that it might not be related to your business. So let's put it out there, right? It might not be related to your business. For instance, I'm going to use my former company I always use. When I was at Emigrate, one of the things that we did was that since we already knew the motivations, the goals of our target audience, we created content for them. So you would see us talking about things in tech, even though we were tech visa for tech people, but we are creating content about tech for tech because we knew that this is our target audience. That's how they will discover you. That's how they will follow you. Again, people go on social media for two reasons: they go to be educated or they go to be entertained. So you have to be doing one of them to catch their attention, right? So I already gave examples of that. The next one is you have to prove, right? Content that prove that your product is what it says it is, right? And this is what they will call consider. Okay, that's buyer's journey. Yeah. Sorry, hold on. Is the dog? So you have to prove. These are what they call testimonials, right? You are posting testimonials. You are posting videos of people using your products. You are posting videos of you actually making deliveries. Do you understand? And this kind of content is usually very powerful because this is what pushes people to buy most times after they discovered you most times and they see how you're doing. When you're not posting things like testimonials and I think, let's say, behind the scenes, right? When you're posting things like that, they start to trust you and then they want to buy from you, right? So, an example of, let me use the skincare brand again. What will be a testimonial or a conversion post or a proof post is something like a customer before and after. And that's why you see a lot of before and after posts on social media that this is how she was before, this is how she is now, right? Things like that are what you call conversion content. So you also have relate. Relate is just engagement content, trying to engage with your customers, trying to, it humanizes the brand. Most big brands do this a lot, to just because when you speak the language of, for instance, if a brand posts a meme, right, something that they relate to. Imagine, what will I say? Imagine OP now posting a meme on social media about POV, me waiting 5 hours for my transfer to complete from traditional bank, right? Because it's a frustration that most people associate with, they would definitely, want to engage and everything. So it's just basically to keep your page alive, to make, sometimes it helps you know what your audience pain points are, because if you check the comments, right, they'll be telling you their stories of things that they have suffered and things that they wish that other banks would do, right? And you can just be collecting info about your products, right? So those are engagement slash relating content. So you have the content that is actually to sell, which is still under conversion content as well. This one is you are purely just talking about your product and you're talking price. You're mentioning price in this one. So for the skincare brand, it could be like, okay, oh, we have a starter kit for 19,000. If you buy three, you get one free. You are selling, right? You are doing promo. Those are called conversion content, selling content. And then you have community content that build a community. This is basically for retention, right? So now you have somebody that has bought from you before, you know that they follow your page because they DM you. So once in a while, maybe, I don't know, like you post things to keep them engaged. If let's say most of your target audience or most of the people that buy from you, let's assume that they are maybe business owners, you start posting content that help business owners grow in their business. Of course, that means you are creating a community because they want to follow you. Not only do you sell something for them or do you provide a service for them, you also help their business grow. You look like a brand that cares, and that's how you create repeat customers, right? That's that. Any questions so far?
Please, I can't see your screen.
You can't see my screen, K. Can another person, is another person having that issue?
No.
Okay, yesterday you're going to have to go out and come in again because that's the only way. It happens once in a while. She gone. All right, she was gone. So, any questions so far? Yesterday, any luck?
No.
Yeah, I
Okay,
can
thank
see
you,
now.
Mercy. Okay. Josie, any questions? Yesterday, any questions so far? You people should talk
Question.
now. If you are not encouraging somebody at all, because I don't even know if people are understanding, if I'm doing a good job, I'm just talking, nobody's. It's not fair. Oh. You should talk. Are you getting what I'm saying? Because I'm worried that you are quiet, you don't have questions. I'm like, am I teaching it well? Please, feedback.
Yes, you are understanding what you are saying now. Me, I'm
Eh.
understanding what you are saying.
That one is you. Thank you, Jerry, very much. Josie and Yetunde.
Yeah, I understand you. Just that I couldn't see your screen then. So, but now I can
Okay.
see them.
Oh,
I
yeah,
do.
no. No, wahala. Josie, sure you will not talk, ni.
Yes, I do.
Okay. No problem. Edna did not come today. Is it Enya? Sorry. All right, so let's carry on to the next slides. Oh, sorry, I've moved too fast. So everything I've said now might be a lot, right? But this is how you just break it down so that it will not stress you. When you are starting out there, start with 3 to 5 posts per week where your audience is more active. Start with where you know if you know that your audience is on Facebook, first start there, right? Because if you expand yourself the way I'm doing right now with me now, you will burn out quickly. But maybe I have a reason for doing that, but I wouldn't advise anybody doing that, right? And oh, I forgot that Josie wants to be a professional. So sorry. So just everything I've said applies to if you're working for a business, if you whatever brand it is that you're working for, everything applies. All right. I like to use people's situations to teach so that they really get it. So start with 3 to 5 posts per week. You should mix formats. You should use videos, carousels, images. I hope you guys know what carousels are, right? And threads, that's for Twitter. So the thing is that well, when we get into platform playbooks, there are some platforms that are majorly suited for videos, and but once in a while, it's usually advisable because you'll be surprised that for Instagram now, for instance, the short thing to win on Instagram is video, is reels right now. That's what Instagram is pushing. That is a fact, right? But there are certain business niches that you'll be surprised that for you to get your audience on Instagram, you have to use carousels. I had a boss like that. Her customers were reading carousels. But for me, my customers being young people, if I try carousels, they will not even reach me, but videos. So, but we'll talk more about that as we're going, right? So, batch record. Batch record simply means batch create content. So, just pick one day and say you want to create content for next week. It's better that way, right? So, throughout the week, you have things to do, other things. Then post when your analytics show your audience online, right? You have to be checking your analytics. You're behind the scenes. See, the platform has made it easy. They've given you tools for you to excel, right? So you have to be checking your review. Is your reach growing? The platform will let you know if people are watching your video or not. It will let you know which video is doing better so that you know what type of content to create. So you need to be checking all those analytics. And to also tell you that CEO, your audience, they are usually around on Tuesday, 5 o'clock. Post at that time so you can reach them, right? That's how to make it easier. So now let's talk about Instagram as a platform as a whole. So on Instagram, you can do reels, you can do carousels, you can do stories, you can do lives, you can do collaborations on Instagram, right? So if you know awareness is what you're looking for on Instagram, just post reels because that's what Instagram is pushing, right? If you know that you're looking for engagement, because if you've done a lot of reels and maybe you now have like 100 followers, right, that are now following you religiously because you've been posting back to back, you cannot say you want to start carousels to engage them because carousels tell more story, they share more information, they are deep. So that's carousels. Then you can now also use your stories. The thing about stories is that stories is a great way to grow and get visibility in my own personal experience, because if you know somebody that posts on their story on Instagram or maybe TikTok, right? Most times people are bored when they come online, they come to be entertained, right? And every day, maybe for the past 2 weeks, they've been seeing your story, they did not touch it. One day they'll want to touch it and see what is going there. So, and you can use it to share things that will capture their hearts, that will touch them and they'll be like, oh, and this is why you should always share things that your customers like, whether it is to educate them or to engage them. They might just see something funny and be like, man, I like this page. They'll check out your page. They'll not see you've been posting things that they like, things that speak to them. You might not even be selling your product. There's a brand called HubSpot. That brand, then Jesus. I pray to work for them one day. One day they are a marketing agency, but there is no problem I have with this life as a marketer. If I search online, HubSpot has the answer. They have they know those ones, but they are big companies, obviously. So they create content on a grand scale, right? So that's what you should strive for, right? See it as you are creating a community of people who see the thing to selling online is getting people to trust you. That's just it. It's getting people to trust you because whatever it is you are selling online, 50 people, 50 other people are selling it, right? But if you can create a connection, right, by educating them, making them laugh, doing things, right, they will just like your personality, right? In digital markets, one of the biggest things that we marketers talk about is about the fact that people don't buy from brands. People don't buy. If you check your phone, how many big brands are you following? It's highly unlikely you'll be following Coca-Cola or you'll be following. It's highly unlikely. But there are brands like Piggyverse, like HubSpot that have thousands of followers. Why? Because they solve a problem for us. They are educating us. They are making us laugh. Right. So this is how you build followership on Instagram. Hope I'm making sense to you guys. Oh.
Yes.
Right. So IGC SEO. So SEO is search engine optimization. It's basically optimizing your post so that you get the most reach out of it. So you have to use something we call keywords. Oh, I added keywords to your assignment. Let me put that in the resource section so I don't forget. Because even me sometimes I forget the assignment I give you guys. Let me put because you guys have to know what keywords are, and that will determine whether I'll teach it or not next week. Keywords. So you have to use keyword. And what do I mean by keyword? Let me give you a breakdown quickly. Keyword simply means okay, in logistics right now, let's use logistics. In logistics, one of the biggest keywords in logistics is delivery. Why? We know that anybody that is typing the word delivery online is looking for logistics. So it's a keyword, is related to the industries, what your customers will likely be typing in. So you want to use those kind of things that they're typing in in your content. Why? Because as a user on Instagram, if I'm constantly searching comedy, or maybe I'm constantly searching about tech things, I'm searching tech courses, tech spaces, right? When the algorithm wants to push things to me, to be pushing the things that I'm searching for, right? So when I'm now creating content, or when somebody is creating content and is now putting keywords in their topic, maybe in the heading of in their post, right? In your caption, you put something about tech there. In your hashtag, you put tech there. The algorithm will know that there's somebody that used to search. There are people that used to search this keyword. Let me show this content to them. It might mean something to them, right? It will show it to them. But now here is the catch: as much as the algorithm wants you to grow, if they are not engaging on your content, or maybe your content does not hook them, is not educating them, is not entertaining them, is not doing, it doesn't even concern them, even though you are putting hashtag and everything, the algorithm will deprioritize your content. It will derank it. It will see it as not a good content, right? It will not show it again. So that's why some people will say, I've been posting, I've been using the right hashtag. If your content quality is the thing, at the end of the day, quality content will always win. And although it will take time, the algorithm has to trust you, the algorithm has to understand you, because these things I just said, when the work starts, you know there is a lot of work to do. So some people just skip it, right? So it's not like you will not eventually blow, but if you're supposed to blow in 3 months, because you're not following it religiously, it might take 6 months, because the algorithm has to understand you, right? But if you're using this thing, using keywords in your bio, in your captions, alternate text, right? Alternate text is an entire different thing. Please read up about it. On-screen text, all those things to just show what your video is about, right? They used to call it I think that's what they call it on the platforms too, on screen. All this, when you're watching somebody's video, you'll be seeing that they'll be putting some certain words to give meaning, to explain deeper what they are talking about, right? Apparently the algorithm also reads that as well, right? So you want to incorporate all of that. You want to incorporate hashtags, niche topic, branded hashtag. Again, for something like a logistic company, the word delivery is a keyword. The word import, export, these are keywords that matter to them. if you are, let's say you're selling food, the word, let me see, what word can I use? What word can I use? What word can I use? If you're selling food. So let's assume that you're selling, okay, Gary, right? Gary is a keyword for you automatically. African food is a keyword for you. Cassava byproduct is a keyword for you because anybody that is typing cassava byproduct is definitely looking for Gary. That's the point, right? Yeah. So you also have to be creating hooks. See, when you hear the word hooks, hooks just means something that will capture their attention within the first 3 seconds. You know what it is when you are scrolling on social media. If they are not saying what you like in like 3 seconds, you are scroll up. Attention is currency in this place. You can capture attention. So if you have to do very, very funny things to capture attention, do it. That's why you see some videos, they will use something to capture your attention. You will stay before you know, they just start talking what they came here to talk. Right? That's a hook. Most times they use a lot of X-rated content to do this that will keep you hooked before they will now tell you what they really want to say. Those are hooks, right? You also want to be using call to action. So the thing on social media, and see, even as an experienced marketer till today, I still make this mistake with CTAs because you would think that as normal human beings, right? I'm sorry. I think I just made this thing bigger. Okay. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. All right. You would think that as a woman being as big as we are, you would understand that when I create good content for you, I want you to follow me. I want you to engage with it. But it will surprise you that you have to keep reminding it. People need to be saying follow me so that their brain will register. Let me follow these people. Because they can come to your content, they will see, they will laugh, or they will read, they'll be like, oh, this makes a lot of sense, right? They will see it the first time, they will see it the second time, they'll just be watching. But there's a difference, and this is based on, so there's a difference when they see the first one, you're already shouting at them after you finish saying what you're saying, please follow me. They see the second one, follow me. By the third one, when you have told them the third time, repetition is the mother of lasting impression, right? They'll be pushed to follow. So you have to put certain actions, right? For people in the professional world, sometimes your CTA might be book a package or book a delivery. You have to do it like that. If you're an e-commerce store, your CTA could be make an order, book an order. If you're a software company, maybe you sit down to have meetings with people to discuss solutions with them. Your CTA will be book a meeting. So you have to, because sometimes they don't even know, they might like your product, they may like the Gary that you're saying, but should we comment? Should we DM you first? Some people see, make it as easy as possible for the customers. When you are dealing with customers online, just be creating everything as if it's babies you are talking to. You have to be pampering them because it's not only you that is selling, right? So that's the thing. CTAs, DM keywords, yeah, all of that. So you also want to be checking your metrics, right? I already explained, if your goal is awareness, I already explained what metric to check. If your goal is engagement, because there will come a time in your business where your goal is just engagement. You've gotten the awareness, but you want your page to be, whatever it is. If your goal is sales, you know what to be checking for. Because, maybe when we get to advertising, we'll talk about all of that. I don't like long videos on my channel. All right, so let's talk about TikTok. TikTok actually, you can see native first likes you to edit in the app, like shoot with their camera thinking, and I don't know why they like it that like that, but it is what it is, right? They also like, that's why you see a lot of subtitles on the screen on TikTok video. It really, really helps to push them a lot. That's how you win on TikTok. There's also the thing of TikTok is big on hooks. You must be able to, because there's a lot of video to scroll, right? You also have to create pattern interruptions. You see it in their videos, like again, they are saying one thing before you know they've switched, right? It's a hook. It will capture you because you think that the initial pattern is what you want to see before you know they've changed it again. That sort of thing. Value plus story. So for TikTok, right, you talk about TikTok like stories too. That's why most people that have channels that they used to talk story, people, yeah, they used to have followers. Just a story, give value, give story, give gist. Again, people want to be educated or entertained, right? So it allows for long content format as well, right? So you can give tips, right? You can talk about transformations. For in the case of conversions, you want to talk about how you transform somebody's business or how your product transfers somebody's business. This sort of videos, right? TikTok is also very big on trends. If you can jump on trends, TikTok is very big on jumping on trends. It's a great awareness strategy, but you have to be careful, shall don't chase every trend. Not every trend is meant for you, right? Not every trend is meant for you, but chase the trends that is always, because chasing trends will just drain you. There's always trend. So chase the ones that you know that will benefit your business. Invest in those ones, right? You also use keywords in TikTok. For most all platforms use keywords, right? Describe solutions in the caption. So your caption should capture the essence of your content, right? It should capture it. The video will explain it, but the caption should also, because again, it's not just for people in marketing. We say you are writing for the customers, you're writing for humans, you're writing for the machine algorithms, right? The human beings have to understand what you're about. The algorithms, they have to, although those algorithms are smart, right? But this is not an SEO class. If you're going to be an SEO marketer, you have to dig deep on SEO. But just know that behind the scenes on social media, there are machines, there are crawlers that are crawling the website, looking at your content, trying to understand your content. You see, the goal of every social media is to entertain or educate their users, because if they're not doing that, they will not come. If Instagram is not interesting, you will not open the app. So if your content is not giving, is not even giving at all, they will not show it. Because if they keep showing content that doesn't make sense, the app will fall now. So if your content is good, you'll be fine. There's and comedy is easy because we are human beings, we like to laugh, that sort of thing. CTAs are also important in TikTok as well, right? And it's always advised that you comment on your posts when you make a post, because the algorithm counts you as a different person apparently, and your comments will look like engagement, right? So the thing with engagement is that when people are engaging on your post, the algorithm will boost you. If you can get people to engage, the algorithm, the more people engage, the more people would, the algorithm will boost you. It's like an organic booster, right? So you can also do series on TikTok as well. Follow for part two. That means you keep people coming to watch, right? So don't be afraid to do long-term content, right? That you can break it into different videos. So because the more you create, the more you're posting, the more you're creating, the more you are growing, that sort of thing. You have to put links. You can put links in your bio on TikTok. Maybe you have a website or whatever. You can also do that on TikTok, right? Or you have an e-commerce store. These are for e-commerce basically. So you also want to measure your metrics too. You can do that on TikTok as well. Like watch your metrics to know which one is working. Are you growing? Are you reaching people? Are they engaging? Yada yada yada, all of that. Oh my god. So Twitter is basically a, what's the word now? They are big on words there, right? And it's, if you like, you must like to read for you to enjoy Twitter. So if you have an audience base that they are intellectuals, kind of doctors, tech people, you are most likely to find them on Twitter, because there's a lot of words as opposed to Instagram where video is the order of the day, right? So you must be tweeting every day, 5 to 8 tweets to teach one topic, right? Again, you must, okay, we'll talk about that when we get to content marketing. So you must have reply strategy. You must add value to niche conversations daily. So on Twitter, there are always conversations going on. People join in conversations by tweets, right? They are communities, right? So if, for instance, you're in the logistics space, or you are in the SaaS space, or you are in the food industry, right? You have to be entering those conversations. You would comment on other people who are also in the niche, co-creators in the niche. So say you okay, I'm trying to use an example. You work for a logistic company, right? And there is a conversation going on about the bad state of the roads in Nigeria, right? You as a company or as a brand, you can jump into these conversations, right? And say, oh yes, this is true, but this is how we're doing it in our company to make sure we're solving the problem. That way you're creating awareness for yourself. People would see it because it's a conversation. People are watching the conversation. They will be like, okay, who are these people? They are doing something new. So by the time they now come on your page and you have already created content to engage them, content to show what you're about, content to, we've not talked about the buyer's journey, but all those kind of content to prove that you are the best, content to show that, to show them why they should choose you, right? Or why you should choose, or why they should choose you, that sort of thing. When you've created content for each, one of the resources I'm going to send to you guys today is a video about the buyer's journey, so that you understand how people find you, right? But when you do that, that you add to conversation, you're creating awareness for yourself, right? And so people will check you out. When they check you out, they check out what you're doing, you're posting about your business. They'll get to know you and eventually might buy from you. Right. To get discovered on Twitter, you used advanced search to find problems you solve. See that Twitter, they always it's like every day that they wake up, they will just choose one problem that today, oh, this is what we want to talk about. Today, oh, this is the problem that we want to have. Sometimes it can be as fickle as gender wars. Other times it could just be, you know, it could just be anything. It could be a problem in the logistics section, in the power sector or whatever, right? So it's always good to check conversation as well, so that you would know what I mean. Imagine you're a solar company and people are talking about how solar is doing one or two. Before you know, you are tweaking your product. Imagine they're talking about importation and they are saying that, oh, we're not getting the best type of products that we need, yada yada yada. You are listening, or maybe they are saying that, oh, we actually get gari here, but we wish that they can mix the gari with kuli kuli or something. It will help you actually go on with your product and develop your product as you go, right? So while it is, you know, a text app, basically, you can use images, you can use short clips, you can use chats, you can still engage with pictures, and all of that is allowed, but it is majorly a text app. But these things actually help with your engagement, really, because after seeing a long block of text, sometimes it's good to see videos. I know it because Twitter is my best app, right? So hashtags are also good on Twitter as well, right? So spaces, and I'm beginning to notice the power of spaces these days on Twitter. If you use Twitter very well, it's kind of like you going on live, right? It really, 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 helps you, but you must have what you are going to say online. But I think it's usually suited for, it usually pays creators better, content creators. They maximize it, take advantage of it more. But as a business, or you can also take advantage if you have. I mean, people like HubSpot will go on live spaces, right, to talk to marketers, rub minds with marketers, right? So yeah, but it's not for everybody and it's not for every business model. But I see on TikTok that even vendors go online. I think it works, but Twitter is not just the kind of the place for it, because I know that Instagram vendors, sorry, online vendors go online, so on live. A lot of them are always struggling to meet that 1,000. So I don't know what they do in those kind of lives. I'm not really a live person, but apparently it's working. Let me put it that way. So LinkedIn is more like a professional platform. So carousel PDFs there, that's what's reigning there. Also, it's also a text app. You have strong text and video. So they understand nowadays that the world is consuming. See, the emergence of TikTok, the way TikTok blew with the video thing, the world has an understanding that video marketing is, people like to watch videos. We like, I'm a boy in this country, like to be seen. It's not even in this country, as a whole, around the world, video is one thing that people like to watch. So LinkedIn is now trying to also push that there. So LinkedIn, like I said, is more professional. You'll be seeing frameworks. It's just a whole, I don't want to go into in depth in there, right? But it's for most B2B. Okay, for someone like Josie who's in the B2B business, you definitely who is a professional rather, you might be working for a business who deals with another business. B2B means business to business, B2C is business to customers. So most business to business companies, like a logistic companies that caters to manufacturing companies or pharmaceutical companies, that's a B2B business. So definitely, aside from being a place where people go and find work, because people go and find work there, so companies have to be there. Because companies have to be there, other companies that are looking for business to do companies go there too. So all of them used to meet each other there, right? So it's networking, it's commenting meaningfully, right? It's more rigid, professional, right? So the kind of things that reign in that place are profile views. If people are viewing you, it means that they are reaching you, they are DMing you, they are, quality leads. Like, for instance, you are chasing, when we're in logistics, so one of our target audience were pharmaceutical companies. So if you're doing good content marketing on LinkedIn, you will not be surprised if pharmaceutical companies are DMing you, that sort of thing. So that's LinkedIn, right? But PDFs, writing PDFs are the thing, yeah. Thought leadership content kind of thing. So Facebook, one way to win on Facebook is to have groups. Facebook is kind of like a community app, right? They are trying to make the app more community like. And so things like what's it called? groups always win. But I will not say go and open a group first. I'm just telling you that it's more advisable to, when you get there, you join groups that you know that you find your target audience. For instance, if your target audience, if you're in the food business, you can be looking for, and maybe you're targeting Americans, you'll be looking for groups that they'll be saying Nigerians in diaspora, right? Or if you're, if like Yetunde, who is a caterer, and you're looking for event planners, you enter groups that you know that event planners will be there. You'll be contributing to conversations, right? That's how you find leads, right? By that, obviously, you would have optimized your social media so that even as you are posting, if anybody is reading your name will not be Yetunde, it will be your page name, right? So they'll be like, okay, this person is like, she offers catering services, is an event planning, they, of course, they will check, right? So where Facebook win is group, right? Local offer events again, because they are trying to make it a community app. So if you create events, Facebook will help you to push the event. Also, going on live to helps on Facebook is one way to gather customers on Facebook, right? Educational posting group, educating the group on topics that they care about. Evergreen guides, how to guides. Basic evergreen guides are always how to, they're always educational content, right? Something that you know that they will use for, even if somebody, maybe you posted it in 2022, the person can still use it in 2025. That is called evergreen content. It means that it is always relevant, right? Ads warm up, boost high engagement posts to custom audience, right? So if you can get people to engage you, and like I explained earlier, when you now want to run ads, right, it's usually cheaper because the algorithm already knows who is going to. It doesn't have to go through what's called a learning phase. When you run ads for the first time, they go through something called a learning phase. That means they understand what you do as a business and they try to understand your customers. So because Facebook doesn't have that time to be coding you, it has to be done through content, right? So the kind of content you post informs the algorithm what you do, and who, and the kind of people that engage with you informs the algorithm who to show your content to, who to target, right? So that's why I always, like I said earlier, make sure you try to, create awareness and engagement before you start running ads. Right, so to measure it, if people are joining your groups, commenting, like maybe they are checking you out. Okay, this is saying that you created a group, but before you even create a group, you will see them checking you out, following you and all of that. Then maybe when you've gathered enough follower, you can now open your group. Then Facebook will be helping you to push your group. YouTube. So YouTube, the best way to win on YouTube is YouTube Shorts. One of my biggest viral videos for most companies I've worked is through YouTube Shorts. It can really, really boost but again, your content has to make sense. If they try to help you boost it, you are not making sense, they will rank your content, right? Yeah. So if you go on YouTube, you'll be seeing that they have they call it thumbnails. They have graphic design covers. Those are thumbnails, titles, right? So those are the things that you read before you open the video itself. So you have to make sure that your thumbnails, you have designed it in a way that is communicating what they will like, is hooking them, right? That sort of thing. So they have, if you check out some videos, they have chapters, like you've optimized your videos to the extent where you are creating chapters. All this thing can be done through the app. YouTube has something called YouTube Studios where you can. So this is basically how you optimize your video so that it will go fast, so that YouTube will help you push it. Because a video that is optimized for chapters, YouTube YouTube take it into consideration. So even if somebody is looking for something that you might have said in a particular chapter of that video, they might not be looking for everything you have said, but maybe you said something in one chapter. It's very possible that YouTube will show your video and people will discover you, even though you're not talking extensively. But because it was a chapter in your video and you also created it when you optimized for it when you were editing your video, it would give you some visibility, right? So also make use of shorts. If you're going to make, maybe your video is like 10 minutes long, right? Try to cut like maybe 50 seconds or 60 seconds out of it that you know that is engaging, that people want to watch more, and post it on your shorts and then direct them to the longer video. That's how you continue to grow, right? So you can also check your click-through rate, your average due. There are always analytics to check depending on whatever goal that you have. Pinterest is more, I see it more like an American app, but A lot of Nigerians these days have been, it's becoming more popular. That's my point. That's why it's here, right? I will not claim to know much about it, but I know that they are big on keywords in their titles, descriptions, board names. So you might not know about, if you not use the app, you might not know about it. So to understand it, you have to go and use the app, right? There's something they call pins. So you must be creating fresh pins. I think it's more like content, fresh content, multiple graphics, right? You have to check out Pinterest to understand it, but from one thing I've heard about them, I think they really, really help you. It's almost like TikTok that you can easily grow. They really push content if your content is good. So maybe you are trying to catch people in the diaspora and you are in Nigeria trying to catch people abroad, you should consider opening Pinterest because most of them are usually there. But again, like I said, Nigerians and Africans are also starting to dominate. WhatsApp and Telegram, this is basically it's pretty much explanatory. I'm not going to spend a lot of time, but it can be the shortcome. Like when people book DM you, they can get to your WhatsApp straight. So you can use WhatsApp as a tool as well. But it's basically just a messaging tool for you. Sorry, give me a moment. Okay, so basically that's what it is when you are creating your social media strategy. You map your persona to the channel. You already know that your buyer personas, you've done the work, right? You already know where they will most likely be found. If it's an intellectual, is on Twitter. If she's a girl, if your customers are women in their 30s, they're probably on Instagram. So in your strategy, you already know that, okay, I'm going to be attracting women in their 30s. So Instagram, right? What kind of content? Awareness content, educative content, all of that, right? So let's assume this first line that you're seeing is for a skincare brand. So the channel is already IG, TikTok. That's where most women are. The pillars, their content pillars, they are going to teach to create awareness. They are going to prove to get conversions, and they are going to do community, right? If you see all those vendors that do 30-day challenge, it's just a way to just keep you engaged, so you keep buying from them, right? You also talk about what formats you want to post in. Do you want to post carousels, stories, whatever, right? It's also going to be in your strategy so that you know what you're doing. And so what will your CTA be? Is this save or share? Will you tell them to DM you? Will you tell them to visit your website? What exactly is the call to action for your strategy going to be? You have to have a call to action for your awareness strategy, for your engagement strategy, and all of that, right? Your KPIs that indicate whether or not you are meeting your goals, right? What KPIs are you going to use to know? If you're in the awareness stage, you know that your KPIs, what you're going to use to know is your reach. How are you reaching people, your impression? Are people watching, right? That sort of thing. So this is how you calculate that, okay, this month I've done so and so. What did I gain? How many people DM me? That's conversion. How many people likes my story? How many people followed me? That's engagement. How many people shared my post? That's awareness. That's your awareness content is working. Right. So this is just it in tabular form. I also shared the link to this slides, right? So there's something called distribution and repurposing, right? So you can turn one video. Again, we are talking about how it makes a lot of sense to stay where your target audience are. But let's assume that you shall want to be everywhere. You can just repurpose your content. When you post on Facebook, you post it on IG. Of course, you give a little small tweaks because the audience are different, but that sort of thing. Another way to also make things work for you, make things easy for you, your comment sessions, right? You will definitely have people coming to ask you questions. So take the questions that people ask you the most and turn it into an FAQ, a frequently asked questions. So if you notice that people are always asking, how long does your delivery take? How long does your delivery take? Then turn it into an FAQ, post about it, FAQ, right? Our deliveries take so. So people already have an idea, right? It shortens the buyer process. Instead of waiting for you to come and answer a question, they have gone through your post, they've seen your FAQs, you've answered some of their questions, they just buy. It shortens the buying process, right? Case studies, turn your wins, your testimonials, turn them into case studies. Somebody from abroad bought for me. Case studies, how we helped Yetunde in the abroad satisfy our home food craving, whatever. Tell story, right? Yetunde was craving, but because of us, we did so and so. So the mistake I think a lot of brands make is to make it so obvious that they are making a content. It's supposed to become natural. The brands that win understand this, right? The brands that win make it very natural. They don't even see it as, you won't see it as a script. You just see Yetunde as a young person like yourself. You've been there, you're craving home. You just say that you should message this brand. You were scared they were going to scam you. Everybody can relate to that kind of story. Like, oh, that's true. Okay, so these people are trustworthy, right? That sort of thing. That's how you win with your case studies and your testimonials, right? Yeah. So you can also have weekly highlights. Now, this is what we're talking about now is strictly social media strategies. But when you want to create a proper digital marketing strategy, you have other um, other platforms, other method of reaching people. There's email, there's blog, all of that, right? So if you are also sharing content on social media, you can also share them on your email newsletter and all of that. You can share them to your different platform, your blogs. You can turn sometimes when people create blogs, they now turn the blogs into video scripts. Sometimes you create a video, you now turn it into a blog. So this is called repurposing. You don't have to be creating fresh content. You can talk about one content in different formats. You'll be very surprised as the way human being forget something that they read 2 weeks ago. They may read it this week again. It will still sound new to them again because there's a lot there's a lot of content that is taking their mind, right? Basically. Even me and you said the things I talked about yesterday, except you go back and watch it, you've forgotten. So if you see somebody talking about something, it will sound like it makes sense to you. Right. So this is just what a calendar template look like. I will share a calendar template, but definitely not this one. I'll share this slide, but I will still share a proper calendar template, right? I think this is the end of it. This is just checking your metrics, right? Okay, some common pitfalls. Let me see. So this is a calendar structure that you can see. On Monday you post education, Tuesday you post testimonial, Wednesday you can post something to engage. So you know that you are touching all the corners, right? Nothing is being left out. So if you've been posting for a month and every month on week 2 you post question and answer, Q&A, or you post a testimonial, by the time somebody discovers you and land on your page, all this content is already there. They will know about you, they will know what you are doing, they will see the testimony. It shortens the buying process. They will just buy, right? That sort of thing. So measurement that platform depending on your goals, right? But these are metrics you should be checking. You should be checking your reach, checking your views, your save, your engagement, right? All these things are always behind the scenes on the platforms, social media platforms. If you check, you will see your analytics. They will even be inviting you to check your analytics. So common pitfalls: same post everywhere without tweaking. While it is good to repurpose your content, wisdom will tell you that there are certain things that you have to tweak to match the platform or match the conversation or whatever it is. Where you have to tweak. The way I post on Instagram is not the way I'll post on Twitter or LinkedIn, right? Posting without clear CTAs. If you know your goal is awareness on the post it there, let them be following you. If you know your goal is for them to buy from you, put DM me to buy, or put a link to your page, to your website or whatever, right? You should not ignore comments and DM, because as they are commenting or DM you, you are replying. The algorithm is taking it as conversations. The algorithm like conversations, because when you're having conversations, it means you are spending time on the platform, and that's what they want. They want people to spend time on the platform. So if you are making somebody spend time on the platform by engaging with them, the algorithm will be boosting you. So you should always answer your comments, always answer your DM, right? You shouldn't trace trends over what your audience needs. If your audience have told you, because and you can be a person who gives, maybe you give thought leadership content, and your audience have told you over time, people that are following you, that see, we followed you because of what you teach. All this your play thing, we don't want to do it, and you decide that no, you want to be stuck, but you will lose your audience, right? So you have to be attentive to what your audience wants. Whew. Also, this is basically the assignment from last week to and this week as well, right? Because you can't wait to do it in class right now. That's the end of it. So your assignment will be still your, what's it called, your target audience and your buyer persona. You have to create that. You now have to define 3 to 5 content pillars, draft 5 hooks, fill a calendar. This is a lot though. Okay, let's just do it this way. Draft your calendars, sorry, draft your buyer personas and your target audience and your strategy. Just do those 3 like that. Right? Any questions? I think I can stop my live stream. And next class, let me show you guys what, because everything we talked about today is for social media, and it basically favors people who want to do a business. For people like Josie who want to be professionals, this is what a proper digital marketing um strategy looks like. This is from HubSpot, right? It's more detailed. This is just a template. It's more detailed. So it's safe to say that next week Saturday's class would see, I still even have to be scrolling. I just want to give you, this is how you draw a proper digital marketing strategy. This is not just for social media. This is for everywhere, right? So you can see there's a place for, what's wrong with this thing? There's a place to write your company. If you work as a team, you write your team so that everybody will know. This is what they do when you work for companies. You might be 3 on the team, so everybody's name will be there that they contributed to this strategy. You need to have a SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis means that you analyze your strengths, your weakness. This is basically a competitors analysis opportunity. So this is a proper marketing plan to ensure that whatever you are selling does not fail online. You have covered everywhere, right? So you have initiatives, which are your goal. What's the plan for awareness? You put it there, right? What's the goal? Which metrics are you going to measure? Right. So this is just a template for a proper, you have to do computer analysis. So we'll deep dive into this next week, as well as, I can't remember what is on the curriculum for next week, but I'll add this to it. All right, so I'm going to stop my live stream now and ask you guys if you have any questions.
My question has to do with the assignment. I don't think I really understand the assignment.
The question has to do with what?
The assignment, I don't really understand it.
Okay, I'll explain it again. Just hold on. I'll